Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's Wednesday webinar, the first in our series for 2025. Each month on the third Wednesday, we host these webinars for faculty where we focus on a different resource in our library to better familiarize faculty with our collection. Today, we're excited to bring you a RefWorks webinar. This session will be presented by Claudia Prokopchuk, RefWorks Product Manager. Claudia is based in New York City and has been with RefWorks for the past 14 years. Before stepping into her product management role, Claudia was responsible for analytics, reporting, business insights, and planning. She also has experience with many other discovery, research, and workflow products. I'm going to paste some links here in the chat, but before I hand things over to Claudia to get us started, I would like to quickly show you how to find information about RefWorks on our library website. Okay, can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Great, thank you. So now I dropped the link to RefWorks in the chat along with our UAGC RefWorks guide, and it might be a good idea for you to bookmark these now for later. I'll also be sending them out afterwards with the recording. But if there's ever a time that, say you're working with a student or it's after the fact today and you realize you didn't bookmark them and you're just looking for information about RefWorks on the library website, I wanted to point out a few different places where you can find information about RefWorks. So here on our research tools page on the website, we do have a link to access RefWorks. Clicking here will take you to this RefWorks landing page where you can sign in or create an account. Also from the library page, and this is just good for you to know, for anything you might be looking for, we have this library help and information section. Some great resources to know about is Quick Answers. This is our repository of frequently asked questions. You can come here anytime and just type in a few words about what you might be looking for. And it's a great way to find quick answers to whatever you're looking for. For example, where is RefWorks and how do I create an account? We have step-by-step instructions for you or for students to follow to get what they need. Also on the website, we have our Library U section. Here we have links to different things like research guides, tip sheets, tutorials, webinars, everything that you might be looking for. This is where you can find a link to our RefWorks guide, which walks you step by step through the things you will see today. It also even has a handy video tutorial that walks you through getting started with RefWorks. So those are just a few places to note before we get started. And now I am happy to hand things over to Claudia. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the intro. Thank you for showing everyone where to find RefWorks. Although if you just type in RefWorks into Google, you'll land at the page because RefWorks is web-based. So the first thing I wanted to mention is web-based, nothing to download. You just access it online like Gmail, like any other online tool. So thank you for that. Before I start sharing a couple of notes, yes, please put questions in the chat. If you prefer to interrupt me as we go, I'm okay with this. We can leave questions to the end. It's up to you how you want to ask questions. And as I share my screen, I'm going to put myself off camera also because I work from home. I don't want my connection to suffer because my face is showing. So let's get started. So we're now in business. So let's go through RefWorks. Let's look at features. I'm not going to deep dive into how to create an account or how to access RefWorks because we just went through that for you specifically. So I'm just going to go ahead and sign into RefWorks and point out a few things. Oh, first thing to point out, which you will not usually see, is I already am greeted with a pop-up message that our January release is live. I was just mentioning that to some of you on this call earlier that we just had a release this morning. So RefWorks is a quarterly release schedule, and I'll show you some resources on how to find all this information. But when we do have an update or a change or a release, we will offer you an in-app message and you will be able to click through to the release notes, pointing out all the things that we released in that version And when you go to close this, it's not going to bother you again. So when you open your RefWorks account in a different computer, in a different browser, you will see it again because it's that whole cookie browser thing going on. But you can always access that information in the future as well. And I'll show you how to do that. So I'm glad that was a little interruption that I had here. So you can see we just had our release. So when you log into RefWorks, everybody, I don't care if you're faculty or end user, student, any kind of end users, you see the same interface. You have your utility menu on top, your submenu here for import, export, and your organization menu here on the left-hand side. Your view, and my account already has some references in it. They're not curated. This is a demo account. But your references will be displayed here, and you can choose how you display your references. So you can, of course, choose how many display per page. I'll get to view in just a second. And of course, you can sort ascending, descending by these features here that we have, these facets here that we have on the right-hand side. Your view can be changed from normal to what we call table. So it depends on how you'd like to see your information. So this is more like a table view. We have our full view, which allows you to see your references in full without having to open the reference editor. And last but not least, and this is the favorite view among faculty and students, especially students, is citation view. So citation view will display my references to me in the citation style that I chose to look at those references in. So right now I have AMA 11 here, but if I click on this gear and I type in MLA 9, for example, and I choose that style and I say, go ahead and show my references to me in that citation style. This is exactly how that reference will look in works cited or bibliography. In addition to that, though, you will see some features, some fields here that are called out, meaning, hey, MLA 9 tells me that I need to have pages for this type of reference in my works cited or bibliography. So you may want to add that in. We're not going to, RefWorks is not going to stop you from doing anything with that reference, citing it, etc. But what people like is that, oh, I might have some missing information here. Let me click on that field and let me add the information that I, if I have it, that I want to add. And now when I look at my citation view, obviously that is no longer called out. So let me go back to normal view here. And here is our organization menu that I'll actually go through as we're going through the features of RefWorks. So I'm going to try and focus on the faculty point of view of how we're looking at the tool, but also keep in mind, what do end users, students get out of this and how they use it and what they may need it for. So first things first, we need to add references into the RefWorks library to do anything after that. If we don't have the references, we can't do much. So there's a few different ways that references are added into RefWorks, and I'm going to show some, highlight others. So the first thing I want to show is we can upload a document, and that means that I will have a document on my computer. That's, for example, a PDF, for example, this one, and I upload it into my library. And what RefWorks does is it looks at the details. It'll create the reference from the metadata in that PDF and also attach the PDF. So quickly, that's the first way to get 1 or 2 references into RefWorks. I also can import references from a file. So if I have a file that is a RIS file, bib file, bib text, bibliotext file, what I can do is I can select that, and however many references are in this file. Let's see. I don't know how many I have, but it's multiple. It's a few of them. And I select this file and I import that into my RefWorks library. What RefWorks will do, my internet is not very quick. What RefWorks will do is create references from that list. And I don't know where I got my information from, so I'm using RIS format, universal format, to import. And now RefWorks is creating those references in my library. Now, I can choose as I import where I put those references. I don't have to put them in the folder. I can assign them to a folder that I have or create new one as I go. So let's say I'm a student and I have 5 different courses, writing courses at the same time, and I want to import them into different folders, for example. I can do so as I go. I'll show you how to do organization in a moment. Okay, so there was 2 references in that file, and those 2 references were imported. Note that 2 minutes ago, that PDF that I was uploading is now here. And all the metadata in that PDF is saved. And I can actually look at that PDF in RefWorks if I want to. I can do highlights, I can do notes, I can print it out, etc. So the next way to get references in RefWorks is to create them manually. And that's basically what that means. I can type in information as I go. If I know the title, author, etc. I choose what kind of reference type it is. And if I have a DOI, ISSN, or ISBN, of course, or title, what I can do is I can look up the metadata in RefWorks for that reference, for that information that I just typed in, to autofill every other piece of information for me. That information comes from Serious Solutions database. Some of you may be familiar with Summon, search engine, or not search engine, discovery tool. But we have billions, I think about 6 billion records in that database. So chances are you will find some metadata to fill in your information for you if you would like to. Part of our recent release this morning is that we now enable you to show all fields as you're typing things, and you don't have to add fields manually one by one, as you did have to do before. Of course, you can still do this, but a nice thing is that you can view all. So especially when you're creating a reference manually, you can just fill in the information that you want to fill in. So clearly, not everything in your library will be coming from a resource that you already have, like a PDF or a text file. So let me just make this a different size because my Zoom meeting info is obstructing my view. Okay, so let's do it this way. So I can be online and I can use things, databases like Google Scholar or PubMed or scholarly database, and I want to get those references into my RefWorks library. The way that I can do this, let's look for water quality articles on Google Scholar, and I want to get those into RefWorks. Google Scholar does not allow you to select multiple references to import into a reference manager. There's some other tools in Google Scholar. If most people use that, they would be familiar with it, but your general user sees these results and they want to get these results into RefWorks. It's quite easy to do so. You can do it one by one. So let's say I want this reference in my RefWorks library. So I'm going to hit Cite. I'm going to hit RefWorks. Of course, you can do export to RIS file if you like, BibTeX, which then you can import into RefWorks. And if you have EndNote, you use that, but you go to RefWorks. And now RefWorks is looking at that information from Google Scholar and says, okay, where would you like to save it? Note, now I have an additional question. Which project do I want to save it in? Because I'm coming from outside of RefWorks. I wasn't already in a project. RefWorks is asking me, where would you like to save this? Do you want to put it in a folder? And a new feature, do you want to put it in separate or multiple folders and multiple projects? So you can do so at import now anytime. And you hit import. And that reference that I exported from Google Scholar is now in my RefWorks library. And there it is. If you want to do multiple references from a site like this, and I'll show you this on other sites as well, you can use a Save to RefWorks tool. It's a JavaScript bookmark that you add to your browser, and I'll show you how to do that. And what you do is you're in your results list and you click on the Save to RefWorks bookmark, and a panel opens up on the right-hand side for you, and it gathers all of the information on this page and asks you if you want to import those references, maybe all, maybe not all of them, but you want to do just a few. So you select the ones that you want to import. And let's say that you're still looking at the page. One of the new features that we just launched is you can minimize that window now. Keep working, keep doing other things, go back to it, and then hit import when you're ready. We, of course, always ask you, where would you like to put this information, in which project, in which folder, and you hit import. And did I select one? Let me redo my process. I think I might have clicked on something. So I select more than one. Or, of course, I have an error. Let me try one more time. I want to do just a few to show you how it works. Don't know why it's one. I have to look into that. Maybe at the end of our call, I can look into that. But what should have happened is it should have said 2, or however many that I imported, I was able to import, and I see that there's 2 imported. I have to figure out what the error is. I'm sorry for our demo, another oopsie, but I'll look into that. But the way that it works is that it gathers the information and imports every single one that you selected into RefWorks. So let me try this on PubMed. Let's do some search. Just do 9 and see if this is a Google problem, a RefWorks problem, or maybe it was just an oopsie. Okay, this is exactly how I expect it to work. So I'll look into what's going on with Google Scholar, but I selected 9 references on this page and 9 out of 9 were imported. And now I can click to view them in RefWorks. So, sorry, go ahead.
Claudia,
please.
Really quickly, I just wanted to say, we love it when oopsies happen in in webinars, because I think it's important for everyone to see that, like, sometimes things don't work the way they're expected. And that's always a perfect time to reach out to the library. You know, they can contact us through email, on the phone during our reference hours, or we have 24/7 librarian chat as well. So, you know, we normalize these moments because things don't always work exactly how they're expected. So thank you.
Yeah. Apologies, but yes, this happens everywhere in life. So that's another way to get references into RefWorks. Of course, places like PubMed, you can use Save to RefWorks, but of course you can export a file. They allow you to export to citation managers, but what that means is it creates a file that you download, and this is an NVIT file, and then you would just import that into RefWorks the same way I did with RIS file. So last but not least, I have all these tabs open now because I did all these different imports. But another thing that users can do is they can search databases in RefWorks, but we don't own those references, neither does the user. So we've integrated only open source databases like PubMed or university databases, University of whatever, that came to us and say, yes, please include our catalog, open source catalog in RefWorks. So what users can do is they can search for a keyword in RefWorks, but they're searching PubMed. And what we're doing now is we're saying PubMed, somebody's searching for the word water in your database, please return results. So PubMed just sent me 1.4 million results. And let's say I want to import a couple of these references into my library. I want to look at them. I can't edit them because they're not in my library yet, but I can select the ones that I want and I can say just import them into my library. And now I added those 4 references into the library. It's easy, it's convenient. It's not as robust as searching in the actual source, obviously. But it's another tool that users can use to get references into RefWorks. So now that we have all these references in here, what do we do with them? Lots of things that we can do. At the basic level, we, of course, look at the metadata. We can edit this metadata. We can make sure that we have the page numbers right. We have everything else right before we continue. And we want to organize this information. So depending on if you're teaching, let's say 5 different courses, 10 different courses, you want to have a folder or a project for each course. And then you can share your reading lists with students. Students can share their references with you via RefWorks. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. And that way you can have a conversation using RefWorks when it comes to citations, when it comes to references, and when it comes to, hey, what sources am I using to write my paper or do my research? So I've been mentioning folders, and you can have as many folders as you want. There's no limit. The only limit is how many subfolders per folder you can have. So you can have a subfolder for each one, a subfolder for that one, and a subfolder for that one. So 4 levels deep, but you can have as many as you like. So it's very easy to organize references into folders. So I'm going to add 2 references into my advanced access folder. And now pretty immediately, those 2 references are in this folder, and you can clearly see that these references are in this folder. If I want to put this reference in add to database later folder, then I add that there, and immediately you see that that reference is in 2 different folders. Very easy to get to a folder. You just click on the folder name, and that's where you land. If you decide you don't want something in that folder, it's quite easy to just remove it. It doesn't remove it from your RefWorks library, it just removes it from that folder. And why would I want to organize things into folders? The very first purpose is, of course, to organize. The second purpose is to share this information with other people. So you cannot just share a reference with someone. You have to share it via a folder or a project. So what does that mean? So I'm going to use my 2022 submitted folder to show you share options. So I'll go to share this folder, and I can set this for everybody at my university, my institution, my organization to see this folder. Or I can invite certain people to view this folder. Let's say you have a user list or a faculty list or students that you want to share a folder of references with. You would type in their information, and you can say they can read, annotate, or modify. Or if you don't want them to have to log into RefWorks to view it, you don't need them to modify, you can create what we call a public URL, copy that link, share it with someone in a chat window, in an email, whatever, and they come to a browser and they click on that link. And now they have access to the references in that folder. They can't do everything in here that you can if you log into your RefWorks account and you can edit, you can add attachments, you can do things with it. Here it's just public URL. You can't really do much except share a list with someone. They can then export this and import it anywhere they want. They can create a bibliography, etc. But it's not as flexible as giving them full access to a folder. If you decide at some point that you don't want to share this anymore, you have full control. You remove that URL, and then when the person comes back to that link, it says, sorry, it's gone. So this is the way to share information with people using RefWorks. Once you share with someone else, you will have this icon here. Let me actually share this with another one of my accounts, so you can see what happens in my menu here. So now you see this is shared with Claudia PQ, read and annotate access. This is a public URL, etc. Anytime you can go in and you can change sharing settings for any folder that you want. If you put something and shared with institution, then this is going to say folders at your institution. And then anybody and everybody with a RefWorks account at that institution can go in here and see all of the folders someone else shared with the entire institution. And at any time, they can go and join that folder. And now they can view information in that folder anytime. So there's the ones that I just accepted. So under this sharing option, I see the folders that I just accepted or that I joined. So I can see all of the references in that folder that that person put in that folder. I know I'm going quick, but any questions so far? Or leave them to the end, of course.
We had just a...
Or sorry, go ahead, Karen.
Go ahead. You go ahead. Your voice is better, Anna.
Oh,
Like gravel.
okay. Sure, sure. I was just gonna say we do have a question in the chat asking if there will be if RefWorks may have a integration soon with a note-taking app called Liquid Text. We know we have integrations with Zotero, Mendeley, and iManage, but we were wondering if Liquid Text is on the RefWorks radar.
No, and I'm glad that you mentioned it because it's a good time to introduce you to where you should make these suggestions. So I've been a product manager for RefWorks for the last about 2 years. I have never once had someone come to me to request this. So this is brand new to me. I'm aware of the tool, but I didn't know people wanted this. So this is very important for us to know. So I will point out this. So short answer, no, but I will point out this help menu here now and say, have an idea. Click on there. I monitor these ideas. I'm the one that reads these and prioritizes them, etc. And please enter this in here for integration idea. I use this for development of roadmap. Get people to vote for it. The more votes an idea gets, the sooner we will put this on the roadmap and develop it.
Claudia, can you show us that again where if you have an idea? Oh, there it is. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So I was going to save this menu for last because it's very useful, but yes, please email me, tell me about it, put the idea and get people to vote for it because that is how we build RefWorks is from user feedback. So I'm sorry, no, but it's going to be considered now. Yes. Any other questions?
Claudia, we did have one other question, which I'd be happy if we have time at the end to walk them through.
Sure.
It's more exporting from our EDS in EBSCO. Exporting, which I can show them since that's our like EBSCO project folder.
Yep. Sounds good.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, great. So I'll continue. Please interrupt me or I'll stop again, of course, for questions. So now that we've imported, we've organized, we've fixed our metadata. So now we shared a little bit. What else can we do with this? We can, of course, export this as a file. And as of this morning, we offer 5 choices. Before it was just 4 choices, but we added BibLaTeX, which is kind of a nicer version of BibTeX. But you can export your references in different formats and create a list to then do something with it, whether it's to add to database or just share with someone else to import into their account. You can, of course, create a bibliography. And it's pretty quick to create a bibliography in RefWorks. You select the references you like to include, you click on create bibliography, and then you go and you choose whichever citation style that you want to use to format that bibliography. And there it is. And then you can copy and paste it anywhere that you want. And that's another way that sometimes people share reference lists with others. They don't want to share folders. They don't want to create public URLs. They create this bibliography, copy it to a clipboard and paste it somewhere else and send it to someone. Other things that I want to point out before I get to the writing tools is, of course, you can find duplicates in your library. If you import from different sources, let's say you're doing your own research for your PhD or whatever the case may be, and you get a lot of stuff in there, but then you're not sure if anything's duplicated. Of course, you can look for duplicates, and we offer different facets of this. So based on completeness, which reference has the most information, which one did I add most recently, or which one I added first, you can do an exact or a similar match. Similar match uses a distance algorithm that I can give you more information about if you like. And then you have to choose your reference criteria of what do you want RefWorks to look for. So if an exact match on ISBN, it'll show me if I have references that have ISBN populated that are identical, and then I can see my duplicates. Your duplicates will be displayed for you until you run another duplicate search. I prefer to look at duplicates in table view, personal preference, because here I can very clearly see field under field of what exactly is the same in that reference. Duplicates are pre-selected for me. They're flagged red. I don't have to do anything with them. I can delete them. I can leave them. I can edit metadata so they're not duplicates anymore. So that's another tool that RefWorks has. Of course, we have, well, maybe not of course, but we have a, let me go back and select a reference to actually do this for. So I can do a quick cite if I'm not using a writing tool and I want to create in-text citations, which let me choose a style that actually makes sense for this. And I want to create an in-text citation and just copy and paste it somewhere. I can do it on the fly, continue to the bibliography, create a bibliography for those in-text citations. So there's that tool here. Let me close that. We have a citation style editor. So this is more for you than it is for students, although anybody can use it. Is I can create my own style from scratch. I can create a style based on an existing style. And right now I have 7,000 to choose from, so probably don't need to do this, but I can. I can select a style. I don't have to be an advanced user to do so. I can select a style and I can change the way that I have my bibliography look. Now, this is nonsensical. You probably don't want to do your bibliography this way, but it's very easy to create your new style and use that in your work if that's something that you want to do. Oops. Okay. And another feature that I want to point out is, it's not a feature, but it's our trash folder. So when I delete a reference from my library, it's placed into this trash folder. I know this is kind of like, why is she talking about this? Of course, it's a trash folder. The special thing about the trash folder is that we never, ever empty it. This is kind of like your safety net, your student safety net. Just get it out of your view, delete it, it's in your trash. The difference here is when I delete it from my trash, cover it back for you, it's gone. So it's important to know that there's that safety net, but once I delete it, it's gone forever. So we can't get it back for you. So, but that safety net is still there. So that's why I always like to mention it. So under share, a menu item here, I can also export attachments. Like I said, we are cloud-based. This is not a desktop product. Nothing lives on your machine. So there's really no syncing or anything like that. But I have added a few attachments here and there, maybe many attachments. If I want to get them out of my RefWorks library, I can do so by just exporting attachments. We talked about creative bibliography. We didn't really talk about tags, but you've seen that I've had tags on my screen. When I do imports, when I do my editing here, I can see what tags there are. They're pretty much equivalent of a keyword for a reference. So it's another way to do organization if that's what you like. What's nice about tags is that when you click on a tag, you will see all of the references that have that tag attached to it. And it's pretty easy to edit. And I'll skip over tools for just a second because obviously we have our search functionality and obviously we have advanced search functionality. So if I want to look in all of the entire site for a specific field or do a few criteria for search, of course, I can do that in my advanced search. So going back to the tools menu item here, find duplicates lives here as well. There's a bulk edit tool that allows you to edit in bulk. So what you will do is you have a big library and you want to replace a specific field in authors. And let's say you have the last name Smith and you know that you put it as SMTH accidentally, and you want to replace it for Smith, then you can do so. You don't have to search for stuff, but yes, it will replace, bulk edit all your references. Of course, you can add and delete there as well. And last but not least, tool under, I went to bulk edit again. Okay, sorry. I will go to tools, and this is where my Save to RefWorks lives. This is where I would install Save to RefWorks in my browser. And all you have to do is drag and drop it. It is browser based. So I just did this in Chrome. I would have to do it in Edge again if I wanted in Edge and Safari and Firefox and so on. And now we get to the fun writing tools a feature that I really wanted to show you. So we offer integration for writing tools with Microsoft Word, with Google Docs, and Hangul, which is a Korean word processor. It's kind of like a Korean word. I don't think many of your users will use it, but it's there. So I wanted to show you how does this work? How do you get it? How does it work? So it's very easy to install it. You're not downloading into your computer. You're installing this into your Word suite. And of course, I already have this in my Microsoft Word. So when I come into Microsoft and let me move this out of my Zoom menu here on top, that's obstructing my view. What I will do is I will start writing my paper. And now I want to insert some in-text citations. I want to make sure that I cite, quote, etc. I will open up RCM add-on. And I'm already logged in, but of course, if you're not, you're going to have to log in to here with your RefWorks credentials. And what does this do? How does this work? So I will select the references that I want to add as an in-text citation and insert them. Let me change this to a style that, let's say ML8-7. And here you can see a lot more clear than a superscript style that I added in-text citation here in my Word document. I can do this as many times as I want, wherever I want. Let me just add a few. And let me add, so I added this one because I want to show you a new feature that we just had. So let's see, I want to add this one once. And I want to add it again here. So now I added some in-text citations here. There's no bibliography, which is concerning until you go into your menu and you turn bibliography on. So all of your citations all your references that you use for your citations are now listed in your bibliography or works cited as the citation style calls it. When I click on the in-text citation, a menu opens up for me and I can change the order, which is a new feature. I can edit the citation. I can change page numbers. I can do what I need to do to that reference in that citation to update it, and it's formatted for me in text. And if I delete citation or remove citation, I can, it automatically updates my bibliography. Another thing, a nice thing that we just launched this morning is now you have a My Citations tab. So now you can see which references you used in your document and how many times and where they are. So no more needing to search in text for a reference or a citation. You can just search in here. And when you click on that that citation in here, that will show up in your document automatically. And you can edit that as you go, delete it, etc., whatever you need to do with it. So there's also other features in here that I'm not going to go through because we are going to run out of time. But basically, this is what RCM, RefWorks Citation Manager, does with your writing process. As you're writing, you can insert, delete, etc., edit, and the formatting will be done for you. So this is why it was important to view those references in a citation style in RefWorks, like I showed you before. So you're not missing information that you may want to include in your bibliography when you're actually writing your paper. And this is exactly how it works in Google Docs and on Google Word Processor, but you would just add it in Google Docs from Google Marketplace, and you would find it in the same place here in Tools. So if your students prefer to use Google Docs, it looks the same and acts the same, and the information is here how to get the add-on. So we'll just land you on the page, and you would just add this into your extensions in Google Docs. So lots of information. I went quickly, try to cover as much as I can for the features. And last but not least, these items here that I said I will get to and I will mention. This is my user menu where I can go into my settings. If I'm an admin, I have admin functionality. Excuse me. I got some invitations here for a project, which I'll mention in a moment. And there's a very quick access to the YouTube channel that RefWorks maintains that has pretty quick how-to tutorials on how to do something. How do I do this? How do I access? How do I cite? How do I edit a citation style, etc. So there's how-to videos here. And we have our Knowledge Center, which is how-to, but in text. So any article that you may want to read about RefWorks is here, how to do anything under user guide, admin guide, etc. We have our release notes, which I showed you earlier because we had that pop-up come up. If you dismiss the pop-up and you want to come back to the release notes later, of course, you can see what was released when and what kind of feature here anytime. Our announcements, of course, idea exchange, and absolutely last but not least is how to contact support. So of course you can go to your library with questions, but let's say you're working in the middle of the night, you want to open a tech support case because you're running into issues, you don't know how to do something, there's an error, please open a case. We have a dedicated support team that works on Reference Manager on RefWorks, and they will get back to you within, I think response time is 12 hours. Please don't quote me, it might be 24, but they'll get back to you very soon and answer your questions. If they are not with another user or sleeping, this agent offline item will show up as chat with an agent. This is not a bot. This is not AI. This is a real person that you will be talking to. So please use this if you have questions and you can't reach your librarian or you want to open a case because you need to know how to do something and you can't find it in the Knowledge Center. Please use that feature. In a nutshell, that's highlights of RefWorks. How to share references, how to share them with your students, other faculty. Project is multiple accounts under one RefWorks login. You can read more about it in the Knowledge Center or here, but it's all the same functionality in a different project. So all different sets of data, but everything else is the same. Any questions? Or comments?
While folks think of questions, I wanted to drop one more resource in the chat. This is a RefWorks HTML announcement that instructors can just copy and paste into their Canvas course if they want to share RefWorks with their students. It walks students through our RefWorks guide of creating a RefWorks account and some of the features that Claudia has shared with us today.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if we have a moment, I know Jen Robinson had asked earlier about exporting from our library discovery service, from Library OneSearch. And if there's no other questions at the moment, I'd be happy to do a quick demonstration of that if we have time.
Yeah.
Does that sound good? Okay.
Great.
Let me
I'd like to see it
share
also.
my screen. Yeah, it's been great. It definitely makes it easy, I think, with a lot of workflows. Now that we've just, I think in the last 6 months, I think last summer, we updated EBSCO updated their EDS. Now we have the new Library OneSearch, which I got here just by clicking on this advanced search link in the Library OneSearch box. And we've been really trying to encourage everyone, if they haven't already, to sign into their EBSCO account whenever they begin. Can everyone see my screen here?
I can.
Okay, perfect. So the EBSCO account up here in the corner, this helps you save your research as you go. So, and it's a quick process. If you've created an account, you can go ahead and sign into my EBSCO. I'll drop a link in the chat to our EBSCO account tip sheet here. So I don't have to spend time demonstrating how to, it's a very short and easy process to create an EBSCO account, and it walks you through how to sign in and everything. So I'll drop that link in just a moment. But once you're signed into my EBSCO, it's nice because you can save your research to your dashboard here on the side, on the left-hand side of the Library OneSearch screen. You can save your research as you go. So if I've done a search, let's say, I've saved things into, we don't have a lot of time, so I'll just sort of fast forward here. I've got some projects here saved to my dashboard. For example, this artificial intelligence is something I do a lot of research on for courses and things like that. So these are some articles on AI that I have saved into my artificial intelligence projects folder. Now, let's say I want to share these citations with an instructor for a course. So what I'm going to do is I can select all of these records at once from my projects folder, and then I can I can either download them, but what I want to show you is how to export them to RefWorks. So I'm going to click the export button, export to RefWorks, and then it will open up my RefWorks page. I've already created my RefWorks account, so I can just sign in. Then it gives me, I love this feature of RefWorks where it's always encouraging people to be organized with their research, which I really appreciate. You know what I mean? Like, I like the reminder, like, hey, don't just, throw it in with all your other research. Like, maybe assign it to a folder or create a new project. Yeah, so we have that option here if I want to. I'm going to create a folder, artificial intelligence, and create that folder. And now I can import it. And so now, excuse me, it will import it all into this neat and tidy folder, which, as Claudia has showed us, is, now we're fully primed to share this folder with our faculty or with a student or whatever we need to. Or from here, I can, create my bibliography. I can select all the page on the page to create my bibliography. I can quick cite a few of these as I go, or, go from there. Does that show what you were looking for, Jen? Is that helpful, or does anyone have any questions about that?
It's absolutely made my entire week. Thank you.
Oh.
Good. That's great. Yeah. And I will share that EBSCO account tip sheet in the chat. I think we also have an HTML announcement for faculty if they want to encourage students to use the EBSCO account. definitely makes things like exporting your references to RefWorks much easier, or saving your research as you go and things like that. Here is our link, just to save everyone time, to all of our HTML announcements available. You want to bookmark it later. This is what I was talking about before, is the onslaught of resources,
Yes.
resource overload, but here you go. Yeah, we've got, let's see, the create a folder. Yeah, I think this is the right HTML announcement here. If you want to share with students, my EBSCO folder HTML announcement. Okay, so that's all I have to share right now. We're just coming up to the last few minutes. Any other questions or comments before we say our goodbyes? I just want to thank everyone again for joining, and a huge thank you to you, Claudia. We learned so much, and I'm excited about those new updates. Yeah. Big thank you to you and RefWorks, and just you guys have been such great partners and so responsive to us. Anytime we have to reach out with a question or open a ticket, you guys are always quick with a response, and I can tell how much you really care about your product and how much work you've put in to make it a truly exceptional resource. Thank you.
And please reach out. Well, now you know me, so now you can reach out directly. Not too much, but yes, please let us know any feedback. Otherwise we don't get the right things in there. So yeah.
Thank you.
So please let me know. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for your time, and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year. Thank you, everyone.